She took her e-commerce store from 0 to 200,000 NTD revenue. I was trying to sell like everything, watches, sunglasses, and in 10 months, I sold one pair of sunglasses. That was it.
And you spent money on Shopify.
I spent money on Shopify. I spent money on ads. I probably spent 10,000 US.
I do KOL influencing. So like you pay for a KOL for your product, share them. To be honest, that doesn't really work.
Okay. And you only focus on Instagram.
Right.
Why didn't you try other platforms? Because I know a lot of Taiwanese, they still use Facebook very much.
So I feel like Facebook is a bit too out of date.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael from Modular Agency, Taipei. I'm here with Nessa, project manager at Modular.
Hi.
Jean,
Hi.
our latest hire project manager at Modular. And today I invited Jean to be our guest. Jean has a secret. She runs a successful e-commerce store. With some impressive numbers, in 1 year, she took her e-commerce store, which sells clothes from Korea.
Yeah, Korea.
She took her e-commerce store from 0 to 200,000 NTD revenue in 1 year, which those numbers are pretty impressive for me. And you did it working 10 hours a week.
Right. Only 10 hours on my e-commerce store.
Okay, so working 10 hours a week, 200K NTD or around 6,000 US revenue, and the profit is about 1/3 of that.
Yeah, about a third.
1/3 of that. So the profit is enough to live in Taiwan quite comfortably, working very few hours a day, 2 hours a day. And I think it's a pretty fun job, right? To run an e-commerce store. It's quite creative.
It is creative, but it's also really stressful because I'm doing it by myself. So there's customer service and delivery, packaging, all of that. But it gives you like a sense of accomplishment.
So you're really stressed out for those 2 hours a day that you're working.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're fine.
After that, I go about my life, work at Modular.
So
Okay.
one of the reasons I wanted to hire Jean is because I like to work with people who have an entrepreneurial spirit and who have made something. And I think that there's a lot we can learn from the entrepreneurial mindset. And so I want to learn your secrets about this. Why do you think most people who try to set up an e-commerce store, why do they fail? I'm one of those people, by the way. I tried for 10 months to set up a Shopify store, and I completely failed, and I wasted a ton of time and money.
Okay. But what I want to ask you is, what did you try to sell?
I actually tried to test like 3 or 4 products per week using Facebook ads. I was trying to sell like everything, watches, sunglasses, bicycle parts. I think every day I had a new idea of something that was for sure gonna be the big one. And in 10 months, I sold one pair of sunglasses. That was it.
And you spent money on Shopify.
I spent money on Shopify. I spent money on ads. I probably spent 10,000 US for that 10 months.
Yeah. I
That's
think
a lot.
what's really important is first you have to do market research. So that's why I asked you what kind of products that you sold, because you need to know your market and the target audience, what they want, what's trendy, especially if you're selling stuff. So what's trendy, what's the fashion style these days, and also like a specific kind of, what's the English word? A specific style. So like there's like Korean clothes now, and then there's like American, more revealing clothes, I guess. And then there's like Japanese style. There's also, I guess, Chinese style, but what kind of style and market research, things that you have to do. And also I feel like you need to have passion for it. So like, for example, do you have passion for the watches that you're selling?
I'm ashamed to admit I had no passion to wake up every morning and start looking at my e-commerce store. But hey, working 2 hours a day and making that money sounds pretty good. I have passion for that.
So that we had an interview earlier today, and that kind of, I felt what he was saying. It's that you kind of start with not wanting to make money, but because you have a passion for it.
Oh.
So you have a passion for it, and then you put everything into it, and you want to learn more about like your products and what you're selling and the photography and everything. So that's kind of how I started. I wanted to learn more about fashion.
Okay, so you're saying that most people fail because they start without really having a passion for the products or for the entire e-commerce game?
For the product.
For the product.
I think passion is really important because once you have passion, it's not that hard to work.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like work, right?
I mean, it does feel like work, but it's not, you get through the stress without feeling like it's a burden.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it makes you happy at the same time. And then when you see the money start coming in, then you kind of want to put even more of your time and effort into it.
Okay, and you were able to achieve these numbers within 1 year of working 10 hours a week. So you had a full-time job at the time?
Yeah. I always had a full-time job before starting my store, and then all while doing it currently as well.
Right. Currently you're working with us. You're doing your e-commerce store. Somehow you still make it to work every day. So that's impressive. And so what I'm curious to learn about is this something anyone can do as long as they have motivation and passion?
I feel like everyone can do it. It's just that you need to know at first the money that you put into it won't come back yet. But you have to have confidence in yourself, confidence in your product. And also, I feel like you do need help with marketing because I'm not a marketing major, even though I work here, but my little sister, she's a marketing major. I asked her a lot of questions about how I should market my products, what ads I should put out. And you kind of have to look through your product in your customer's eyes. So like, for example, if I'm selling like this shirt, I wouldn't just like, and take a picture. You have to like have good angles. And like, if I'm a customer, I want to know what the palm tree looks like. So like a close up, things like that. But it's easy for everyone to do, I feel like.
All right.
Because I'm just a normal person.
You're just a normal person.
Yeah.
No superpowers.
I'm not a fashion major, design major,
Can I know what's your major? I'm just curious.
English literature.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's very different than what you do.
Yeah,
Right
it's
now.
very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take you from opening your store to starting to become profitable?
It took me about 3 months. The first 2 months, I kind of fell into a slump like you. So I was like, I'm putting so much money into this, like buying the clothes and taking photos and like spending time, but I'm not earning anything. And it's basically like minus profit. But I kind of stuck through it and I started to see the profit coming in, and that's kind of how I continued.
So one day, like 3 months later, you got the first sales that helped you break through into profitability. And how did you feel?
I felt really happy. Like I was doing my accounting myself. I do it myself. And I looked at it and I saw like plus maybe I think it was plus 6,000 NT, which is not a lot. But I was like, wow, I only spent like 30 or 40 hours per month and I got 6,000 NT.
Wow.
And that gave me even more motivation.
Yeah. So imagine, I mean, these kinds of stories just make me think about all the people who grind it out and then they give up. Like they might grind it to 2.5 months and then realize I just wasted 2.5 months of my life and this isn't working. I'm just going to quit. But had they stuck it to the 3-month mark or the 6-month mark, you know, who knows how big their store could be now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we also want to do at Modular, is that sometimes marketing, it doesn't really give you immediate like effect on like the first week or the first day. But if you put even more time into it, then slowly it all comes back.
Yeah, and it usually comes back like a waterfall, but
Yeah.
6 to 12 months later. So it takes patience.
It does.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm curious about, when you were starting your store, you only had your sister to help you?
Actually, no. It was by myself. I asked her like simple questions, but she has her own store as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
She's 21 right now, and she has her own store. She's doing really well too.
Doing really well. Who's doing better?
I think it's her. She has more revenue, but I'm more organized, so I package more stuff faster. So I get the money back faster. She's a bit slow, but she has more followers and stuff.
Is she also doing fashion like you?
Yeah, she's doing fashion as well.
So can you talk a little bit about your store and what exactly are you selling? Are you willing to give up your secrets?
My secrets. Well, I'm selling clothes. I buy from Korea. I pay for the shipment over. Basically, in Korea, it used to be that you had to go to Seoul, to Dongdaemun. It's a place in Seoul, and they sell wholesale clothes. So you have to go there, you have to pick out the clothes yourself, and then you kind of have to contact the people there and to ship them back to Taiwan. But since the pandemic, they started selling on Weibo. So they have like pictures, and then you can scroll through the pictures to see and then ask them the price. So I started during the pandemic, which was a really good time to start e-commerce. So I started then, and I picked the clothes. You get them, and then you do the measurements. You find a pretty model. You take the photos, which I did myself, and then you edit the photos, which I did myself. And then you put it on like Shopify or Shopee. I use both. And
You sell to the Taiwan market through Shopify and Shopee?
Yep.
Oh, so it's not a standalone store on your website.
I use I use Easy Store, which is kind of like
Easy Store.
Shopify. It's your own website, and you have to do all of your own stuff, and the revenue goes directly to you.
So you put your product in some platforms, not just one.
Yeah, I started with Shopee though.
Shopee, okay.
So how many platforms are you selling?
Right now, 2.
2.
Okay. And is one of them making more money than the other?
Shopee is actually making more money than my own official website. It's mainly because like Taiwanese people, they like to use Shopee because it's convenient and they can get everything they want there. And there's also like free shipping. So
So why do you think your store is successful? If I can imagine it must be 10,000 Korean clothes shops
Yeah.
at the same time. But why do customers like your shop?
I think it's also because I have a passion for clothes. Well, passion. I like buying clothes myself. And so I have my own like curated style. So when I pick the clothes, I don't just pick like random clothes. I pick clothes that I know I would wear and I like the style of. So my shop is like just a curated personal style of clothes that is in my own taste. And that's what people buy, I think. Like you picking, it's like a personal shopper, like a personal stylist. I pick the clothes, and if they buy from me, then they can kind of like get my style. And that's what's valuable.
Because I saw your store on Instagram, I also think it's because you take your own pictures.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stores, they took pictures from where they bought it, and they just maybe edit it a little bit, but it doesn't look as good as yours. Yours looks very premium, I think.
That's also like a selling point. So packaging
Yeah.
is very important. So for my clothes, most clothes stores that you buy online, they come in like a plastic bag, like Shein.
Yeah.
Shein is like a flimsy plastic bag with like bad quality. It looks really cheap. For me, it is cheap, but for me, I put it in like
Box?
방천다. I don't even know the English word for that, but I put it into like a thicker bag, and then I put a ribbon over it. And then I have my own personal card that I made. I write the customer's name on the card. Each and every card, I write their name.
Oh, that's really good, because I think a lot of people will take pictures and post
Yeah.
it online.
Yeah.
And
so
that's
it's like
how you
branding.
get free marketing.
Right. It looks like a pretty gift. And I have a lot of reviews that say it's like opening a gift when I buy from you guys.
Okay, so it sounds like a chunk of your time is in preparing the whole customer experience with the ribbon and the gift, but it's worth it, right?
It's worth it because they are happy when they get the package, and because they're happy, they buy more.
For me, it sounds like your secret to your success is the curation part.
It is.
So you basically have a distinct style and you committed your entire store to follow this style, which I guess is your style. And there's a segment of women who want to dress like you. And then in order to dress like you, they can shop at your store, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, for like KOLs and influencers, it's probably even easier for them to open like a store, online store, because everyone wants to follow them. But for me, since I'm just a normal person with not that many followers, it's just like personal style and them liking my personal style.
Okay, so let's just say there's probably a group of people out there and they want to get out of their daytime job and maybe they like to dress up and look good and go out. It sounds like this is a good business for them, but could you give us a framework for how to kind of curate a store that other people would then want to buy from?
Curate a store that other people want to buy from. So I think the first step is to figure out your personal style, because a lot of people, they don't really know what their style is. They just buy clothes that are trendy, or they buy clothes that they think look good. So know what your personal style is, kind of have a specific niche for that. Even if it's not clothes that you want to sell, but products, there's also a specific style of products like flashy watches or aesthetic watches, simple watches, things like that. So a specific niche is the first part. The second part is to find a good wholesaler. So there's really shitty wholesalers. I'm sorry. I swear. There's really bad wholesalers. So like, for example, maybe China, in China, there's a bunch of factories that make all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But the quality, there's actually good quality stuff from China. There's good quality and bad quality. And if you buy like the cheapest thing, it might be really, really bad, like garbage. And if you try to sell that, yes, you will get like one sale. But will they come back? That's a really good question. So a good wholesaler. And then kind of your aesthetic of the whole store, website, your brand. So like for me, I like to go more Korean minimalistic, something like that.
Okay, so not like K-pop style.
No, not K-pop style. It's more,
Opposite of K-pop.
I think I'm a fusion of like Korean and American style. So it's not really very Korean. And then like your aesthetic. And then lastly, which platform that you want to sell on. Because there's a lot of platforms to sell on. There's Instagram. You could actually open like an Instagram shop. Or there's Shopee. And then there's like, you can open your own website. You can have your own store. But I don't really recommend that.
But can't your customers just go to like H&M, Uniqlo, these big shops that are very cheap? Why do they still buy from you?
I think it's a matter of quality. First, quality. Second, like if you go to Shein, you go to H&M, Forever 21, there's like 200 clothes for you to pick from, and you're kind of like overwhelmed with the choices. But if you come to me, then it's like, okay, this season, these are my choices, and I pick these for you to be on trend, to be fashionable, and you can pick from those, and it's way easier.
Right, because too much choice is not always a good thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Also, if you buy something from H&M or Shein, probably everyone's wearing them. You'll meet someone that's wearing the same outfit as you, and I don't really like that.
For a woman, they get super pissed.
You're like, who is this girl?
She's wearing the same shirt as me. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like if you walk into like a Dollar Tree, like a Daiso, there's like cheap stuff, very lots of options, but do you know what you want? You're not sure.
Okay, so why is it that people are attracted to this curation? Is it because they don't like the stress of having too much choice?
Yeah.
And H&M?
Yeah, I think like you have so much stress in your everyday life already. You have to make so many decisions, including like what you want to eat, when you're going to wake up in the morning, things like that. It's easier to have someone make those decisions for you. And that actually is one of the key points in a lot of businesses, including us. Like we make decisions for clients as well.
Yeah.
And that makes their life easier.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think clients come to us because they're overwhelmed already. Most of them are marketing managers, and then they want us to kind of handle a portion of their marketing production.
Yeah.
And then so they save tons of time.
Yeah, they save time, they save effort. We do stuff for them.
Okay, so in your opinion, like I'm curious, how many people would love to have their own store in Taiwan or in East Asia, but maybe they just don't know where to start? Like, do you have friends who are kind of telling you that, wow, I wish I could do that, but I just can't do that? And what do you say to them?
I say find something that you like and just find, you don't even have to find like a wholesaler. You could buy from like, I don't know, like Taobao, or you could buy from Shopee and resell it. Like it's like C2C. You could do C2C as well. And it's not hard as long as you can curate your stuff and package it to be high quality.
Okay, but that sounds a little bit too simplistic. Like, I feel like you're skipping some steps. Like,
No, I'm not.
what about like all the, like your Instagram and the photo shooting? What kind of marketing are you doing for your store?
For my basically I have an Instagram, and that's the only platform that I do marketing on. And there's I do KOL influencing, so like you pay for a KOL to wear your product, share them. To be honest, that doesn't really work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everyone thinks that it works, but it's really expensive, and you don't actually get revenue from it because they just like take a photo and like tag your store. It doesn't really work. But what I found to work was Instagram ads. And right now, because Reels is something that's getting popular, so Reels, I recently made a Reel. I took like an hour and a half to make it, but it got, right now it's like 28,000 views.
Oh, that's a lot.
Right, it got me like about 400 more followers.
28,000 views, organic or paid?
Organic.
So you didn't put any money towards that
No,
video?
no, but I do put money towards Instagram ads. I put about 1,200 per 2 weeks.
1,200 NTD per every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. And you only focus on Instagram?
Right, I only...
Why didn't you try other platforms? Because I know a lot of Taiwanese, they still use Facebook very much.
Is it okay for me to say this? I feel like Facebook is a bit too out of date, right? Like, I know people who do use Facebook, but they're mostly... Okay, most of the people that I know that use Facebook are guys. I'm not sure why.
Really?
Like, guys, like, they watch the news or, like, some gamer videos. And people don't really shop on Facebook. Well, there's, like, Facebook groups to, like, sell clothes, but it's mostly, like, aunties, 阿姨们. Right, so most of the hip, trendy young women, they go on Instagram, and that's what you do. Like, you do mindless scrolling. So if you mindless scroll and you scroll on my ad, oh, pretty clothes, and you click inside, then that's like another sale.
So are your customers the ones who randomly find you through your ad, or kind of like loyal repeat customers, or a combination?
Half-half.
Half-half.
Yeah, it's half-half.
And you're able to track all of it?
Yeah, there's on my website and also on my Shopee, there's like this percentage that they show you of repeat customers. And also like people repeat so much that I remember their names or their username.
So
Yeah.
you have some fans.
Yeah, I like to have some like small fans.
Okay, so we learned how you started. We learned your framework. Now, if someone else wants to launch their own store, what are some tips you would give them? And especially like people like me who spent 10 months and just gave up and wasted a bunch of time and money and have like a totally bad attitude towards e-commerce now. What would you tell those people?
I think the first tip is to have patience, because nothing grows in one day. Like trees don't even grow in one day. So have patience that if you put hard work and effort into it, then it's going to come back to you. The second tip is to try to win your customers' hearts. So it's like customer satisfaction. Even if it's just e-commerce, and especially because e-commerce, you don't see the customer, you can't give them a smile, you can't like show them around the store. So you give them warmth by like your messaging, by your packaging, stuff like that. So customer satisfaction. And then third is a passion for what you do.
Cool.
I want to ask, because you mentioned to have patience, but is there a certain time that you know that it's not working and you need to stop? Because I don't, if I want to start, if I want to start my business, I don't want to waste money for 10 months and then realize that it's not working. So is there like a time?
I think it depends on your business and the scale of the business that you want to do. But for me, I think around 6 months.
Around 6 months.
If you're starting from like bottom to top, then around 6 months. If you don't see the revenue coming in, then maybe it's time for you to stop, but you have to have really good accounting. Like for example, for me, it's mostly I get an order, I order, and then I ship. So I don't have stock. I don't have a lot of stock, but I do have stock. So that kind of, my money kind of goes in and out, in and out. And the money that I do have on hand isn't that much. So it kind of gives you a sense of like, am I earning money? But if you do your accounting properly, then you can see, oh, it is coming in. It's just getting bigger and bigger.
Right. Because that's like a cash flow. You can actually spend all of your money on scaling up the business. And it doesn't mean that you broke even only. You're actually still profitable.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want to know, like, once you achieve this level of success where you're able to replace your daily job's salary with your store, how does that change your life, or how does that affect you in a positive way?
It does change my life, like in sense of my own confidence. Like I used to really worry about money, not because I don't have it, but because I feel like, oh, I'm spending so much money and I only have like a normal salary. But now it's kind of like, since we're in Bali right now, so I went shopping with Nessa the other day. And
Jean went nuts.
Yeah, I went nuts. But it's because I know that I'm comfortable with my life and my earnings, and I have like 2 jobs. I spend a lot of time on my full-time job, but I do earn like 2 salaries, and that makes me confident, comfortable, and happy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So would you encourage other people to try to set up an e-commerce store?
I do. I encourage my friends all the time, but they don't really have the confidence and patience to do that. But I think it's really easy.
It's really inspiring.
So maybe there's a certain mindset that you need to have before you even start, right? What's the mindset that separates the successful people from the ones who give up or don't even try?
I think the mindset is to not be afraid of not making money, because that is kind of what makes people not want to try, because they don't want to put their money in and not have it come back.
So basically they're afraid of the risk involved.
Yeah.
And you're saying take risks.
Take risks. Take risks with your life. Take risks with your business, because if you don't like invest in yourself and invest in your business, then you'll never get anything back, and you'll just live a 9-to-5 normal corporate life.
I mean, that's fine for a lot of people, but I know there's a segment of people who are really looking for that freedom and the financial independence. But I think they just don't know where to start. So it's pretty inspiring.
Yeah. Okay. So just start and have patience and strategy.
Yeah, patience, market research is important, and passion, win your customers' hearts.
Okay, and then so what's your goal for 2023 with your store?
There are some like role model stores that I look up to. I hope that I can get to like, how much is that? How many zeros is that? 1 million per month.
A whole bunch of money.
Yeah, a whole even more revenue.
So like 4 times your revenue?
Yeah, like about 4 times my revenue, and hopefully I can get some employees, because I do have a job here.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So very interesting story, Jean. If you want to make your e-commerce dream come true, take a risk, have the confidence, try it out for 6 months. Probably at the 6-month mark, you'll have to, assess, is it working or not?
Change your ways, or
Change your ways.
stuff.
Do new stuff, market research, do good accounting, have like an account of your expenses.
Yep, and then you can change your life.
Yay.
All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Bye.